interesting. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk of the Town with Jon Adams. You guys will have to forgive me. I'm moving stuff around here. I popped in only a few minutes ago. My horse was frozen inside the stable. It's 16 degrees below zero. It says that it might get down to minus 26 at night. I really got a question why I'm still here. Why are any of us still here? It's, I mean, look, when it was 0 degrees out, I was cool. I could, a little wind. Okay, I'm good. But I can tell you today when I got out of the truck, I seriously thought to myself that maybe in my former life I had done something really bad to end up in North Dakota because it is cold. I mean, it doesn't make sense, So I got my big mittens on. I got my hoodie, Carhartt jacket on, the whole 9 yards, and I am freezing. And I swear it took me a good, I suppose I kept my jacket on for at least 5-10 minutes just trying to warm up. But, this is the lot in life that I've been given, or I chose. Right? We're not giving anything. We make choices, and that's how we end up where we end up. At least that's what I think. So I was going to do a weekend review, and I decided to table that. I did something pretty interesting. I Googled Talk of the Town with Jon Adams on ChatGPT just to see, right now we have a situation that's happening where everybody's scared of technology. Oh, what's going to happen with AI? It's going to ruin, it's going to take our jobs away from us. It's going to make us a lazier society or whatever it is. But you hear so much about AI, so I did a little Jon Adams experiment, and I wanted to see what ChatGPT would say about Talk of the Town with Jon Adams. So basically it started with, Talk of the Town with Jon Adams is a prominent local television show based in Fargo, North Dakota. The program has become a staple of community, offering a blend of news, interviews, and entertainment. Now, this is the part I think they got right. Hosted by charismatic Jon Adams, it is designed to keep residents of Fargo and surrounding areas informed and entertained. So that was ChatGPT. And I find it interesting that people are saying, hey, you know what? Get on these AI sites and, you can find anything you want. And, with AI, it's going to be able to think and it's going to be able to do this and that. Remember that these machines are only as good as the people that develop the programs. And you just heard what ChatGPT said about Talk of the Town with Jon Adams. I didn't know. James, am I on TV? I mean, I don't remember.
Well, you live streamed Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, but that's not TV.
It's a video of sorts.
Then why didn't they say podcast or, what? I'm going to have to ask Steve for a raise if he's put me out there on TV without my knowledge. But I just found it funny because it's like, let's go on here. Jon Adams is a well-respected figure in the Fargo media landscape, known for his engaging interviewing style and deep connection with the local community. Jon brings a warmth and insight to every episode of Talk of the Town. Now, I do believe this, his ability to connect with a diverse range of guests, from local business owners to regional celebrities. I don't know what that is. This is the big one. Has made him a household name in the Fargo-Moorhead area. James, this is big stuff.
Yeah, that definitely is.
I should have put you in here on ChatGPT just to see what they say about the show's producer. Maybe if I have time during the break, I'll GBT that and put it out there so we can find. Although your your celebrity is far bigger than mine. I can tell you that.
I don't know if I want to know what ChatGPT has to say about me.
Well, look, man, I'm engaging and charismatic. What would be another word for charismatic if we were truly describing me? Crazy?
But I might fit that description.
But isn't it amazing that people get all it, AI is going to do this and that. And here's the other thing. So college students use these AI sites to write papers. So now somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but AI is supposed to, the difference is that it's supposed to think and make decisions and basically be more human, bring a human component to the machine world. But I'm looking at this and whereas I agree with some of the stuff, but I don't think I'm a prominent television host. I'm trying to figure out who are the regional celebrities that have made me a household name. So, hey, listen, if anybody's listening, I need you to call in and let me know when I became a household name, because according to ChatGPT, I have the ability to connect. Oh, yeah, we like that. But regional, maybe Snuffy Byers is a regional celebrity. He's a former Bison, Mr. Byers. Maybe that's the local celebrity, the regional celebrity. And then what else? A charismatic. I don't think I have household. I think I have like apartment complexes or maybe people that are just passing through. Truck drivers. I know that I have a truck driver out there that's listening to my show. But, honestly, we need to just turn down the volume on a lot of the rhetoric about what's happening. And let's face it, I talked last week about the Trump administration's flooding the zone and throwing so much out there that you just become overwhelmed. Well, with this AI thing, it's another thing that we're bombarded with, where all of a sudden we got to be up in arms. We got to figure out what's really going on. I can tell you that the ChatGPT was something else. That just reading what it said about me. Here's another thing. Impact on the community. Talk of the Town with Jon Adams have made a significant impact on the Fargo-Moorhead community area. I had no idea. I just thought I was, some dude that Steve Hallstrom said, man, I wonder if I could get that cat on the radio. But evidently, and this, my wife should be watching this show because I don't think she realizes how much of an influence and a celebrity I am, James. I think we may have to call her and let her look at this.
We could call her, but I'm not going to be liable for whatever you get in trouble for.
Oh, listen, man, I got 31 years in the game. There is no trouble in our house. She just tells me how it is, and that's it. And I look, man, after 31 years, it is what it is. But I just don't think that she understands my celebrity. Speaking of which, I'm now going to require the Fargo-Moorhead public to. I'm gonna have to give me a bodyguard, James. I never thought about this. With this amount of celebrity, well-regarded television show that has become an integral part of the Fargo-Moorhead community. The show is dedicated, enjoys a dedicated and diverse viewership reflecting the broad appeal and variety of topics. So, in case you just joined me, I was reading through what AI had to say about Talk of the Town with Jon Adams, as well as your charismatic host of the airwaves. It sounds to me like I think I might be giving JT a run for his money. I think they're going to have to open up a little more slot time for me based on what I read on AI. Anyway, ChatGPT has made it perfectly clear that my talents are being underutilized here at WDAY. You hear that, Mr. Hallstrom? Anyway, listen, JT said, JT, sorry about that, James. We're going up against the break. When we come back, I'm going to talk more about what AI has to say about Jon Adams, as well as I have a book here called African Americans, the history of African Americans in North Dakota. We're going to talk about that on the other end of the break. This is Jon Adams for Talk of the Town. If you want to call in, the phone number is 701-293, or you can email us, studio1wdaynow.radio.com. Hey, well, welcome back to Talking to the Town with Jon Adams. I started off the show by talking about ChatGPT. Just one, it really was the most popular uh, AI platform for a long time. So what I did was I Googled my show, Talking to the Town with Jon Adams, and I found some pretty ridiculous things that they spit out there about my show. Maybe not ridiculous. I mean, for people that know me, I think I certainly am charismatic to a certain degree, and I bring the community together, or so ChatGPT says. But but let's remember, I'm not on TV, and somebody tried to say, well, hey, you're all on YouTube, and well, no, Atlantean television show, and so we have to be careful with where we're getting our information, which brings me to the next point with. It says that a survey says that over 55% of people now get their news information that they take as gospel from Facebook, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. And that's got to be troubling. And it's interesting. Yesterday I had a great conversation with my son, because he's more right-thinking than I am. And we were having a discussion, and he was convinced that I'm not watching the right people, or I'm not using the right sources to truly understand what's happening with the Trump administration, which I found laughable on his face, because I can't remember the two guys he said I should listen to. Ben Shapiro was one, but that, to me, that's the equivalent to finding his equivalent on the left and saying, okay, these two speak for the Democratic and left and right and all that. And it's very simple, okay? We know what right and wrong is. I need people to quit trying to convince me that a lot of things that I'm seeing and hearing are not as bad as I see that they are. Okay? Don't try to convince me that a dude didn't give a Nazi salute when clearly he did. Don't try to convince me of that. But, I don't understand what happened to just being kind to one another. So, anyway, I told you guys that I started reading this book, African Americans in North Dakota. And I have to be honest with you, before I thought I was one of the first brothers that ever come up here. And I could tell you, once I got here and realized that there were at least 30 of us in the city of Fargo, I was amazed. I was like, wow, way different than today. So going back and reading some of the people that settled in North Dakota in a wide range of occupations, and it's like, wow, this is really neat. They own barber shops. Some were, in the early days, they were trappers, farmers. And I don't even know where Granville, North Dakota is, but, I see Sons of D Fine Foods, D.D. Govan, cafe owner and businessman in Minot, North Dakota. And evidently he had famous hot tamales. But, with the removal of Black History Month in certain segments of the population, certain segments, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna read up on North Dakota and see how that all plays out. But this is part of my heritage, so I like to read. And I thought, by the way, this came about because our library ladies, and I'm sorry, ladies, I don't remember your name. They have a Black History Month display up outside the library, and I saw that book, and I was like, can I read that? She was like, absolutely. So I'm already on page 140, and I started yesterday. It's a very interesting read, but, I'm trying to learn a little more about North Dakota, and then also look at where we are now. Because a lot of people that aren't European came to work on the farms. A lot of craftsmen. Okay, that's how we were introduced to North Dakota. Besides the guys that stayed and were trappers and traders and fur traders and stuff like that. A lot of interaction with the Native American community, but just something interesting. Just if you're looking for something to do, pick up that book. It's called African Americans in North Dakota. pretty good book to read. So, what are we going to talk about now? So, of course, every day we get bombarded with, what's happening over here? What's happening over there? So, there's this entity that's now called Doge, right? DOJE, tasked with the paring down of our government, reducing waste and all that. And hey, man, this dude is going strong. You know, he took out USAID pretty strong, right? My question is, when are we going to get to the military? When are we going to really start looking at where our military dollars are going, and why haven't we done that yet? Because, like I said, I'm not in favor of big government. I like the fact that we're going to shrink government, but we know that there is military waste and overspending. I haven't heard one word about it. And I would just want to ask you guys, what do you think the holdup is? Now, we're getting rid of some generals that don't agree with Donald Trump's policies or have said something that he disagrees with, but when are we going to start taking a hard look at the military? I mean, if we're going to pare down government, and I know, we get the age-old fight, well, which bases are you going to shut? Communities are going to be affected. Well, everybody's going to be affected if we're truly working to shrink government, which, like I said before, I'm all in favor of. I can't argue with the concept, but like immigration, let's stop picking and choosing where we're going to cut. Let's do it across the board. These ICE raids, which by all accounts are going swimmingly, I have yet to see an ICE raid take place in a Serbian neighborhood or an Irish neighborhood or any other. It just seems to me like we're just rounding up brown people. That's what it looks like to me. When I look on TV, I don't see, and let's face it, we ain't the only immigrants out there. We ain't the only illegals out there. But it's very interesting that we don't see raids taking place in every city, in every corner of the city, but we're going in the very specific places. Let's not pretend like it's just one group. Let's not pretend like we're rounding up all the people that need to be rounded up, because we're not. Now, I don't care where you start, but let's get to everybody on this thing. Okay? Let's rock and roll. I mean, hey, you know what? Hey, if you're here illegally, but let's not pretend like we're getting them all and we're hitting everybody equally. Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have to hit them equally because there's no DEI. We could pretty much just do what we want to do. Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, strike that from the record. We don't need to be equal in our removal of illegal aliens. We just, we'll go where we want and do what we want. And I got to say this, we got to be careful with this, all right? Because I would imagine that there's somebody out there who actually has done it right that may get swallowed up in the net. Then where do we go from there? It's no different than I said we have to be careful when we go along and we look at these things. I always put it like this. Where is the policy hit for me down the line? So immigration isn't going to affect, it ain't going to affect me because, Now, but I have people that I know from other countries. That's the hit that's going to happen down the line in my life. But there are other things that, that the hit is immediate and it's felt. Like the whole freedom of speech thing that went on in Ohio, where there's no accountability for people stirring up. So you can't yell fire in a movie theater. You can't yell bomb in an airport, but you can carry guns and incite people in certain neighborhoods, and that's perfectly fine because you're exercising your First Amendment right, as well as your right to bear arms. Just trying to make it make sense. See, these are the things that I think about. Where's the hit to me down the line? And because I know that at some point, dude, none of us are immune. Economically, as a businessman, I'm in favor of tariffs. I'm in favor of being implemented properly, but I have to look at it. Okay, if I'm in favor of it, where's the hit for me down the line? And right now, I know eggs didn't go down, and I can tell you that the price of meat has gone up. Vegetables seem to be climbing. So the hit for me when I went to Costco, my bill seemed a lot more expensive than it usually is. I'm a creature of habit, and I typically order the same thing. I typically buy the same thing. So when it comes to immigration, when it comes to tariffs, the hit for me down the line, as far as buying a steak, by the way, thank you, honey. My wife cooked a beautiful steak. We had steak and lobster yesterday. We were treating ourselves. But anyway, this is what we have to think about as Americans. Where is the hit coming for you down the line? Because it's coming, and it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with socioeconomics. So when we come back, we're going to talk about where's the hit, where are the hits going to be coming from over the next 4 years. This is Jon Adams for Talk of the Town. You can call it at 701-293-9000. That sounds like Pizza Hut or Pizza Patrol. Anyway, give me a call if you want to discuss these things. James is going a little old school here with the music. Welcome back to Talk of the Town with Jon Adams. So I've been talking AI. James, just that quick, I forgot what my tease was leading into this segment. So this is what we call the pivot, ladies and gentlemen. So, that's what I was talking about. See how quickly it comes back. So I turned 60 a couple weeks ago, and I got to tell you, it seems like my memory is fading in and out, but it snaps back. It's almost like, I don't know, like the best way to describe it with, you know how sometimes, well, maybe you don't have light bulbs. We still have light bulbs. And the light bulb kind of flickers a little bit, and then you turn it and it stays on. That's basically what my memory is like these days. Sometimes it's flickering, and if I turn the bulb just so right, it comes back on. But so I was talking about where does the hit come from? You know, we really need to start looking in terms of how is this going to affect me? I mean, that's where I look at life is, you know, I don't get all upset with half the stuff that I hear coming out of Washington because it doesn't affect me. But like I said, when they start wanting to tax my Social Security or do away with it, because Social Security is not an entitlement. It's money that we gave the government to hold on to until we retire, which, by the way, I think is a big scam. I mean, I think that we would do way better if we could manage our own money. Just imagine all your Social Security money, you decide how to invest it. My son has done very well in the market, and it's like, here's a young cat. He did his due diligence, and guess what? He's doing well. You know, he's got me dabbling a little, but that's the point. Is that if it doesn't affect you, don't get so heated about it. You know, that's part of our problem. Is everybody's running around getting heated. I was watching the news, and Moorhead schools are going to be $4 million short, right? That's word around the campfire. I believe I heard that number. And then there's a proposal to change Romkey bathrooms to communal bathrooms. And that project is due to cost $5 million. Now, I don't live in Minnesota. I don't live in Moorhead. But I was just thinking, gee, is there something wrong with the bathrooms now? That they have to take $5 million to redo the bathrooms? Instead of taking the $5 million and covering the shortfall in education. Somebody from Moorhead call me and tell me how that works, but it's little stuff. Now, that's not going to affect me because I haven't been to Romkey Park since my Moorhead State days, okay? But just like another issue that hit my radar, which is the price of going to pools has skyrocketed. The price of taking a little guy or a family to the pool has skyrocketed. Now, they did a pretty good job downtown building that swimming facility. It's no longer just a community park. It's a swim facility, okay? It's got a water park. It's got all that. But from what I hear, they're going to have swim meets there. I imagine the people are going to train there. Great idea. But now who's paying for it? The people that use it. And the people that use it, when my boys were young, they were taken, I'm not even going to go there as to who took them, but they got taken to these parks and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, the price of food is going up. Gas is certainly going to go up. And maybe it's going down. I don't know. But I'm betting that we're going to see some more inflation down the line based on what my economic classes tell me should happen when we increase tariffs. If I'm wrong, somebody call in and set me straight. But inflation will happen if these tariffs go the way that we think they're going to go. This is all. Listen, we talk about the education system as a 2.2 student. I even know that that's what happens when you raise tariffs. So there's going to be an inflationary period down the line. If I'm wrong, please, one of you geniuses get on and tell me. But all of these things, everything's starting to cost more, and people are taking home less from their paycheck. Okay? Less from their paychecks. It's all got to come to a head at some point. Now, here's the question. Here's why I brought it up. With all this money that we're saving by getting rid of all these employees, all the cuts we should be saving billions and billions of dollars because that's what they're saying. Where's that money going to go? There's a question to ask yourself. Where does that affect me down the line? Okay? Now, we have government officials, even in our town, that said it's not the government's business to take care of you if you are in need. You need to make better choices. I had a commissioner say that on my show. It's well documented. So if we're not spending money, also, remember, we just, USAID, we just shut that whole thing down. You know, that's going to free up a lot of money. Is this money going to be used to build our infrastructure? Or will this money, like so many other things, end up in the hands of people that are already wealthy? Where's this money going? See, it's great when we talk about we want smaller government, but smaller government frees up money, but where is it going? You got to ask yourself these questions. While you're sitting around talking about what a great job the guy is doing, we found out that USAID has been funding both the Democrats and the Republicans. I've been saying it for, hey, by the way, my 2-year anniversary on this radio show was not too long ago. But I've been saying it before. One of the biggest grifts on the planet was Hillary Clinton's Haiti fund, $150 million. Okay, so that's not, it's not out of the realm of possibility that all this money that they're generating by shutting down the federal government, laying off 60,000 workers. It's funny, they're laying them off, but they get paid until September, I think. I've got some friends that were downsized. They got a short severance package, and that was it. They were out the door. But what happened to the government's not going to be responsible? People are going to have to take care of themselves. Meaning that if these people genuinely were useless and they weren't doing their job, why are we paying them? If you don't do your job, does your boss give you money and say, hey, go home, figure it out? No. All of these things. Just stuff to think about. So so now we've figured out that AI basically thinks that I am an absolute radio genius. We figured out that there were black people in Fargo way before me. Read African Americans in North Dakota. It's a great book by Tom Newgard and William Sherman and John Guerrero. But also, we need to start thinking in terms of where does the hit come from me down the line. So Big Game James says we're up against the break. When we come back, I'm going to give you guys a little food for thought because there's accountability piece that we need to start realizing that if we don't do it, you get what you get. This is Jon Adams with Talk of the Town. If you want to call in, the phone number is 701-293-9000. Welcome back to Talk of the Town with Jon Adams. We're all fired up on this side of the table because there's so much to talk about. Did a little research on how long it would take for famine to hit the United States if a couple of things happen. First, food not getting to the grocery stores. Now, a lot of people don't understand that our country runs through the trucking industry. Okay? What happens if we don't have anybody to load these trucks? You know? What are we going to do if we don't have people that are going to go and work in these processing plants? We got enough food for the United States for roughly about 3 to 5 days. You know? That's very interesting. What the heck type of hat is Elon Musk wearing? Oh, he looks like a stormtrooper with a black hat on. Sorry, that was my ADD. Fox News is on this. I don't watch Fox News, but it's on the station, and so it is what it is. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to go through some things that we're going to leave for next show, but these are some of the things that I just want to ask you. Do you think these are good ideas? I want to reform or downsize the federal government. Not only that, I really want to tighten up the Supreme Court. You know, I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on there. I also want election reform. Okay, I'm all for term limits, you know. We need to protect the Bill of Rights, right? Very important. I want the government to be downsized. Okay? I am tired of big government. You know, I've said it before, when they roll back Roe versus Wade is way too intrusive. That's not something, the government shouldn't be that involved in our lives or our bodies. You know? I've said it before, I'm also a protectionist. I am an America First guy through and through, okay? By all accounts, I'm African American, but guess what? I'm born in America, baby. That makes me an American. Whether America chooses to accept me and my people, I'm American, okay? There are places I can go in the world where they absolutely cannot stand Americans. So, I look, protectionism is the number one thing I think we need to do. Not only our borders, but also economically. I think it's vitally important that we need to start taking care of our country. Redistribution of foreign aid. Okay? Economic growth. You know, the landscape of who we are as a nation is shifting. We used to produce at an alarming rate. We're not like that anymore. What type of nation are we? We got to figure that out, okay? I'm not even going to mention that, the last one. Now, like I said, I'm an America First type of guy, okay? For good or for bad, I can't change anything about people's perceptions of me, whatever, right? But I know to the rest of the world, I'm American, and that means something to me. You know, and some people will say, well, hey, America's never loved you. Hey, I can move past that. I love myself enough, and my wife loves me, so I don't need America to love me. Now, if you agree with this, and I don't know if you do or not, but these are all the tenets of Project 2025. Everything that I read to you is some form of Project 2025. It all sounds great. It all sounds fantastic. But within those concepts that I just outlined, there's some scary stuff going on that I'm not trying to scare you, because it is. It is happening right now. Judicial reform. With Trump's first administration, they made the court so conservative that we've overturned some laws that I never thought would be overturned. We were asleep at the wheel when this happened, and now we're wondering how did we lose our equal right protections? How did we lose our on the abortion issue, women. All of these things. Project 2025 is a real thing. And if you go back, this was started with the first Trump administration. That's how long this has been in effect. And ever since then, they've been chipping away at individual freedoms. Okay? Remember when I said, where is the hit coming? We have Elon Musk talking about his view on unions. You know, he's not favorable. But this is the guy sitting next to the most powerful man in the world. Now, I think that unions at times can be as greedy as corporations. But without unions, our workforce looks way different. Okay? The wages that you earn, and believe me, I think there's some union wages that are absolutely ridiculous, but we have to pay attention to this stuff. This is where the hit comes down the line. I tell you this much, if the port workers that belong to a union decide not to unload those crates, remember when I said we could starve we could have famine in a matter of a week? We could have food issues in a matter of a week? Let these unions go by the wayside and see what happens. That's the part that you need to pay attention to. Not transgender bathrooms, okay? Not UFOs, although my theory is that UFOs actually they're already here and they're in the Antarctic. That's why we can't fly over the poles, as well as they also exist in the lost city of Atlantis. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, these are the things we need to be concerned with. Okay? So, next show, I am going to talk about the juxtaposition of Project 2025 and what we see right now. Okay? Well, this has been Jon Adams for Talk of the Town. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's cold. Please, please, please don't expose your skin to sub-zero temperatures. Be good people, and as always, stay black.